Hello my friend, Johnny here from Real Home Studio. Whether you're working with your drums in MIDI in your home studio or perhaps you've recorded them yourself, it's all too common to get a disappointingly lifeless result. So today I want to show you how to inject that much needed energy into your room mic recordings using just 3 simple plugins, so dull, lifeless drums can be a thing of the past. So first off, let's just take a listen to our drums as they are. We've got 5 tracks: kick, snare, hi-hat, overhead and room. And these are all drums taken from the very impressive Addictive Drums 2. So a MIDI program, but it sounds really rather realistic. This is the room mic that we've got from there. So it sounds good, but we want to squeeze more energy, more life, and crucially more realism as well into our MIDI drums. And as I mentioned at the top of this video, we're going to use 3 different plugins to achieve that. And the first is a compressor. This one's called MJUC. It's from the rather excellent developer Klanghelm. Very inexpensive, great plugin. You've got 3 different compressors in one program, which is really cool. So what we're going to do with this compressor is fulfill our aim of bringing out more of the room. So in essence, we're going to lose dynamic range, but we're going to bring up all the sounds of the room. In a way, we're creating or promoting drum room reverb with our compressor. What we're also going to do by doing that is bring out some unwanted stuff too. We're going to be bringing out the roominess of our kick drum and a lot of the roominess of the cymbals and the hats, and that's all going to sound a bit harsh. Now we're going to deal with that a little bit later, so let's not worry about that for now. For now, with our compressor, what we want to do is bring out that roominess excitement. So we're going to dial in our compressor. I'm going to start around 4 or 5 dB of gain reduction. I've got the ratio starting off at 4:1. I'm bringing in a fast attack, so this compressor is going to dig in really quickly. Now, we don't have to worry about it taking away from the attack and the punch of the transients because we know that our close mics are taking care of that. So for this, we don't need to worry about that happening. What we want to concentrate on is bringing out that energy. Now, you can play around with your release times, and it really depends a lot on the source, but generally a faster release time is going to give you more of a pumping, exciting, energetic sound. I'll show you what that sounds like in a moment. So let's bring in our compression. I'm going to play around with this release so you can hear what I'm talking about. So if I go really slow, our compressor is consistently engaged, it's constantly engaged. And that can give us a really cool sound too, a much more tamer sound than if we start bringing it in faster and things start getting a lot more aggressive and exciting. And as that's what we're looking for from this video, I'm going to set myself with quite a fast release time too. Now this compressor is also really cool because under the hood it has a few knobs here, and we've got a timbre control, so I can dial out a little bit of that harshness for the cymbals. Really hi-fi. Make things a little darker. I can also bring in a bit of saturation. I'm just going to bring in a little because I'm going to look at that a little bit further down the plug-in chain. Let's take a listen with our compressor off. So our clean room mic. And now our more booming, energetic, compressed room mic. Now, as I mentioned when I was dialing in the compressor, with bringing all of that room out, we've also brought in a lot of kick drum. We've also brought in a lot of roomy cymbals and stuff. And we want to keep clarity down there in the low end. So we want to get rid of quite a lot of that. And also we don't want all that harshness and cymbal clutter, which is going to take away from the brilliance and the sparkle of our overheads. So next up, we're going to bring in an EQ, just a typical stock EQ, and we're going to bring in some filtering to clean out that low end, to make sure we've got lots of clarity down there, and also to eliminate a lot of the harshness that we've created with our compressor. So I'm just going to bring in a simple high pass filter. And you can be quite liberal with this high pass filter. In the past I've gone anywhere up to around 500 Hertz. I'm going to do a very similar thing with a low pass filter, but thinking about harshness from cymbals. And there is a little bit of a boxy vibe to our room mic sound. Anywhere typically around 400 to 600 Hertz. So before our EQ, after our EQ, and finally I'm going to bring in some saturation. Now I was playing with a tape plugin earlier, but I wasn't quite getting the results I was after. So I brought in Barrier, and what I'm looking for from this plugin, which is free from the guys over at Kit Plugins, is to get some more fatness out of my drums. I'm going to get a little bit more compression as well out of my drums. I'm going to create lots of harmonics with this plugin. That's what's going to create us some more of that fatness, and it's going to smooth out and tame a little bit of the harshness even further. Barrier can be is capable of really extreme results. I'll show you that first. And the other cool thing it has is a high cut and a low cut. So high pass and low pass filters again for your saturation. So things get a bit crazy by now. And you get the idea. It can get pretty extreme. Let's dial it back. Just creating a bit more energy and excitement still in our room mic. Okay, so right now, with all our plugins on and all our plugins off, so a big change in the processing. Now if we were just to bring our elements back in right now with our fader where it is, here is what we've got. It's not particularly nice sounding drum sound, very roomy. So let's take the room mic out of the equation. Now here's the trick. You want to blend this in, and a little goes a very long way. So let's just slowly blend this room mic back in. Now, even at this point where you might not feel you can necessarily notice that it's engaged, take a listen when at AB. Room mic off. Room mic on. And then plugins off. And plugins on. So we use 3 simple plugins, a compressor, an EQ and some saturation to create energy from our room mic and in turn into our drum mix. I'm Johnny Good for Real Home Studio. See you next time.